This is your daily market recap for Monday, June 13th, 2022. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market / intraday market recap for Monday, June 13th, 2022. Let's get into it. Again, if you're newer to the channel, you're wondering what the heck is going on, you have questions, you need to chat with me or some of my friends here who have been trading for a while, or follow up about any of the trades in this video, please check out the Discord room. Link is in the description below. Again, I appreciate everybody. Having been banned from stock twits, FinTwit, everything twit related to helping out people, I now have my own place to hang out, and it seems to be pretty fun. Everybody's doing hopefully pretty well, and if you're in a little heat, hopefully you're going to get back to green. And if you are not losing money in these circumstances, like most of us, actually profiting, hopefully you are doing well. And if not, things that need to be changed, things that need to be fixed in your trading style and understanding of the market. Let's get into that first, because right now sentiment is pretty wild. If you look at some of the posts I did on the SPY, I think we may have bottomed going into the FOMC, but also I think bonds may be bottoming, and also think oil is topping. And people say, oil is topping, you're crazy. You've been saying that for a while. And then again, I look at the action, I notice how we're not taking out new highs, demand destruction, final blowout run-ups in the oil service names. Go to FinTwit, go to Wall Street Bets, go to all these places and notice the one trade every single person is talking about: inflation, 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 inflation. You know how they say they don't ring bells at tops or bottoms? They actually do. They ring them really loud, but do you know how to hear them? And usually those bells are the news. They're absolutely the news ringing the bell to bring in the retail investor. Because again, if you're just new to inflation and oil and grain or whatever people are pumping right now, where have you been and why are you buying now? That's all I have to ask. And again, this isn't meant to be, you know, me up on a stool trying to talk down to people. It's just the way the market runs. Again, you need to always be a contrarian in the back of your mind, because the market is meant to take your money, not give it to you. So anyway, again, stop by the Discord room if you have any questions. Let's get into Bitcoin. I hate to say I told you so, but again, you have to be evidence-based traders. You can't be wishful, hopeful thinkers. What do we talk about this action? Head and shoulders top. If you couldn't hold this level, game over. Well, now you're at 23,000. Now people ask, well, where's the next support? I really don't know, because again, in a slam based on high VIX, fear, emotions, there is no like technical analysis kind of goes out the window. And I tell that to people all the time, because they're sitting there going, whoa, where's the best support level? What's the best technical level? And I'm just going to tell you again, when emotions, and again, this applies to all markets. This is not Bitcoin, because keep this in mind, because it's going to apply to everything as we go through. The market isn't a rational, fundamental beast. People love to say, like, what's the fundamental price? What's the best area? Like, let's technical all the time. When the VIX spikes, market panics, there's nothing fundamentally rational about the stock market action. It's going to go wherever the heck it wants to go. So if you have support at a certain level and it breaks, you got to get out, because you don't know if it's going to go lower. Now, again, with your time frames, how do you want to manage it? That's all on you. But in a bear market, things usually go lower along the way. It's lower lows, lower highs. That's how it works. This clearly is a bear market in Bitcoin. And if anyone would argue differently, I mean, lower highs, lower lows. So next target, everybody's saying 13 to 12,000. Let's see what happens. Now, again, do I believe that? I don't know. If it's an irrational market, it could go a lot lower. Please use stops. Please be smart. Let me connect. Let's go look at, I mean, you can look at oil. Let's pull it up real quick. I didn't update my oil stuff like I should have. I apologize. What do we talk about? Here's the 2008 levels. Here we are now. Notice how oil bottomed on the 2020 election. Pretty much, I mean, what, 3 red candles? Three whole months of red for the whole administration's time in market. So if you want to blame anyone other than the current administration for the oil prices, blame Putin, I guess. I don't know. But again, we could be pumping. We could be doing a ton of things. I blame the current admin. And again, when I say admin, I'm not blaming the big guy. I'm blaming everybody. Everybody involved should be pumping and getting involved. What do you notice with the oil futures? Lower highs. Monster run up. That's all there really is to say. Now, again, keep in mind, if we can't take out the old highs from the Ukraine mess, what has actually happened? What is the market showing you? Demand destruction, right? Supply is coming. Keep that in mind. I always tell the people, like poor countries, people who have oil rigs capped, anything, when they start losing money in the markets and they start not feeling as wealthy and they see oil at these prices, think of the psychology. You're going to turn your spigots on because you need to make money. You need to make money. If you're not making money in other places and you have oil as inventory to sell, you're going to sell it. You always do. I mean, again, just keep it simple. TLT. All right. Here we go. Now, again, not going to pat myself on the back, but again, this is all evidence-based. What do we say? We don't really believe in V-bottoms. Talked about popping up here. We said 112, 114, but again, I never put out an alert to really buy it. Today, my friends, I think you can start buying TLT. Why? Inflation. It's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. Right. Exactly. Everybody's talking about it. The feds are going to go to hell in a handbasket trying to kill it. Now, again, doesn't mean 6 months from now the rates will be higher. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is TLT short term. Let's go look at the monthly. Back in this range here from 2018, I think it's a buy. Near term. Near term, 3-6 months. After that, I have no clue what rates are going to do after that. Because we could be in a severe recession, depression, and rates could be much lower. Or we could have runaway inflation and rates could go much higher. So, on that note, near term, again, because we're traders. Again, I mean, we swing trade. We position trade for big moves. I think there is room in the TLT to go up. Now that we've made what I think is a novice gap going in the FOMC, you can start buying it here. I think this is going to end up a novice gap. Once you break out of the channel and you retest, let me move that. That is not in play anymore. We broke that trend. Now what? I think you start buying down here. Layer in, layer out. You know how we do it. Please layer into trades. The dollar. People wanted to tell me that the dollar was going to the floor. And I was telling people this was actually a monthly channel breakout. Look at that. But we back tested. And then what did we say? Watch the 27s. Watch the low 27s. Why? Oh, look at all that support right here. Literally, you've got years and years and years of support. And also what? We hit the 50-day. We hit the channel high and held it. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Higher, higher, higher. Really simple. Dollars going higher, especially if the market's going. The VIX. We've talked about this one a lot, right? What do you think the VIX is going to do in front of the FOMC? What do you think they're going to do? It's probably going to chop out because it is OPEX. Oh my God. It's quad witching OPEX. It's a quarterly OPEX. Now, again, if you've been watching the videos, we knew the market was about to take a digger. And how do you say you know that? Well, we talked about the levels on the SPY. We also talked about how the VIX was compressing in this higher zone. We said somewhere in the mid-20s. Now, again, I thought maybe even here at 26, but man, you're the worst. You missed it by $2. No, I mean, again, heroes become zeros. Like, no, trying to pretend you know the exact price for which everything is going to move is a dangerous game. Now what? We popped up. Nice. Now notice how these long wicks. I don't think the market's going to capitulate during a quad witch and FOMC. Could I be wrong? I don't know. I'm short, so I'm not really too concerned about what my wrong is because my wrong is hopefully going to be a right. Meaning that I'm working from profits. Now, if you were in the market fully and you're just sitting here not sure what to do, newer people, you got to be careful. And I've told them, and if you're not sure, you just move to cash. The freedom your mind will get from going to cash and reevaluating will make itself back. Now, again, because now what if the people go, what if a bull market's starting next? Well, don't you want to move to cash so you can position to be in the right stuff? Oh, what if it's, what if? If you were positioned incorrectly and you were losing constantly, do something different. You know, as they say, if if you're digging your own grave, just put the shovel down. The first thing to do is just stop trading. Go to cash. SPY, this is what we talked about. Channel lows. We talked about this hitting down here this morning. Probably a bounce spot. Now, again, everyone's bearish. Everyone's bearish for right now. And is it overly bearish? Nah, maybe. But again, with the Feds coming up, are you going to short more, or are you just going to take some profits and wait? Because you don't know what the Feds are going to say. Because we know the Feds, what do they want to do? They want to try to pump the market back up at some point. Duh. But people go, well, you're newer. Oh, you haven't called a bear market. No, we did. We absolutely did. Because one of the things we talk about is smooth channels to breakaway channels to extreme highs, typically toppy. So once you got back under the 20-month, goodbye. And actually, this all's predicated on the Qs. So keep in mind, channel bottom on the SPY, probably going to bounce. The Q monthly, this is where it all started. Nice smooth channels, bazoom, break. Where have you seen that pattern before? Bazoom, break.com. Anytime you get too steep, and even here, which is kind of crazy, in 2015, you had this like massive reset, which was a flash crash. You just get to, and again, when you look at a comparison now, you go, whoa, this is like uber steep. This is like North Carolina mountains versus the Rockies versus the Himalayas. Like, this is the Himalayas. Like, this is the backside of the Himalayas. That's why when quantitative tightening starts and the markets unwind all of this extra liquidity from stimuluses and free checks and bonuses and all that crap, it's going to be down. And again, how long is it going to take? I mean, at worst, you got to think 12 to 18 months. Could we be going into a Great Depression? That is always in the back of my mind, because that's where, again, if I took profits, and which we did, we took profits, went to cash at the highs. Now I'm in a position where I don't really care if the market drops. And that's the hard part for people who are newer or who are all in right now, because you're going, what do I do next? Well, again, if you see the Himalayan top, don't you want to wait? Because you've seen big corrections before. Yeah, you have. Market repeats. So at this point now, we're below the recent lows. I mean, I've said this a bazillion times. I think the NASDAQ is going to get actually just hammered. Sorry, there's a ton of lines. Maybe it's easier to see on the monthly. Yeah, here we go. I think you're going to first stop should be 250s, 260s. Next stop should be the old trend lines around 208. Ultimately, look at where the 200 month is. This is crazy. 120. 420 to 120. That could happen. And people are going to be like, oh, you're crazy, man. I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. The market's the market. IWM, we talked about this leading up and leading which way? Down. Remember, it peaked first in November. It's holding and holding around the 2018 and 2020 highs. Keep in mind, when small caps peaked, it said game over. Now what? You're back at range lows. Pretty funny. They held it up into X dividend. No, you got expensive dividend. You got 49 cents and wham! You gotta love it. People chasing dividends. Okay, here we go. It's pretty crazy. This thing just went, what, 53, got down to 32. Again, probably peaked right. I mean, they literally brought this out during the dot-com bubble. 200 month. I mean, 115. Again, I think this thing, there's no limit to the downside in a bear market. You just have to remember that you don't know how far. But how do you know when a market's bottom? Capitulation, high VIX, spiking, everybody freaking out. That's how you know. Now, again, on a scale of 1 to 10, the VIX at 32 in today's action on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 6, meaning it probably could bounce back or go sideways. But at this point, this is not the bottom. Anyone who's saying this is the market bottom, delete me from your following. Please do not bug me, because you are wrong. Gold. All right, let's get into the topic here. Because again, I mean, all of this choppiness, people are going, Dan, you got to buy gold. 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 Everyone knows I love gold. That's the problem, is I don't want it now. Seasonality sucks. And guess what? In a market, in a bear market, I'm not going to try to curse. Every freaking crash brings another level of gold down. But it will hold up better. No one's arguing that. But look at the monthly. It's a big cup and handle. That's why I'm bullish long term. But I think you get down into the 160s, 150s, which, takes you down another $100 an ounce, which long term probably is insignificant compared to where you're going. But if you are leveraging a trade that is incorrect, you are losing money. You might get margin called and blown out before the trade even starts. I don't want to see that happen. for my friends, people who pay attention. Ultimately, what I'm thinking here, keep in mind, I think it's just going to go lower. Now, again, how low? Here you go, down in the 160s. Free money retest. Well, maybe get another free money retest. I honestly think you could go much lower. Near term, maybe you get a super spike. Because why? What's happened precedes. Well, I mean, like, again, think about every other super spike. With COVID. Look at it. Right before COVID, you had this bow in the VIX spike, then everything blew out. And look at that. You went from 159 down to 136, and then bazooka. Look at that. That, my friends, is what we're waiting for. All of this preceding it, who cares? Think about back now. All of this crap preceding it, who cares? Wait for the blowout. Hopefully, again, I say it enough and people get it. Silver. I love silver. I think it's the most undervalued metal. I think it's worth $100 an ounce. But guess what? My thoughts don't matter. Again, COVID, stink. 2008, stink. Boom. Wait for the capitulation. I don't need to say it every time, but I feel like I need to because people need to hear it. You like silver? Wait. Wait till everybody doesn't even want to touch the market. Then you can buy it. GDX. Oh, man. People are saying you got to buy the miners. I'm like, no, you don't. Because now it looks like, oh, my God. Can you see it? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Let me just zoom it in for you so if you couldn't miss it. This looks like a head and shoulders top. If this thing bust, goodbye. 200 day. Everyone's going to go, oh, gold miners. This. No, miners are leveraged to the market. Borrowing costs, all these things that happen, that liquidity, when it dries up, murders the miners. Here you go with COVID again. 31, down to 16, slingshot back. 2008, peaked at 57, dropped all the way down to 16, and then made a run up to 63. I hope people realize, like, no matter if you're in 100% cash or you're just completely unsure of what to do, there will be many of opportunities when the market pukes. You can pick any name that you think is strong and then buy it. But if you buy it now, you better prepare for heat. And when I say heat, pain, because it's not going to probably go in your favor. All right, GDXJ, same thing, bounced up, going lower. I'm going to run through these. AG, and all these names I like. GDXJ I like. AG, people were like, oh, you're crazy when we sold it up here in the 14s. I was like, support equals resistance, and we are not passing through resistance. Boom, cut in half. Now where, again, who knows? The market's not rational. Like, this price probably makes no sense, probably below production cost. I haven't dug that deep into their financial. But if you see it down here in the 4 or 5 range, you probably need to grab a bag and a gun, because you're going to feel like a robber when you take all that type of money. I'll take that AG at $4 because you're going to feel like it was like you're basically robbery. AEM, same thing. Like this company, they took over KL. They're doing well. I think their CEOs are buying some up here. And again, people going, oh, CEOs buying. CEOs aren't smart either. They don't realize what the hell is going on in the markets. They're not traders. Look what's going to happen. It's going to probably pull back into the 30s. Hopefully there's a reoccurring theme in these videos every day that is not confusing at all. NFGC, love this company. It's funny because someone's like, oh, I'm going to hold some miners through it. I actually bought some down here, I think at 570 or 550, somewhere between there. I can't remember. And when it popped, I sold it. And I said, why would I hold gold miners if they're going lower? I know this one's going to get taken out at some point. I know Eric Sprott's making a monster bet. But guess what? It could get back down to the 3 or 4 range. And again, if I miss it, I miss it. But at this point, I'm making way more money shorting ultimately than buying this stuff. And hopefully that repeating pattern of understanding is coming to your brain. You're getting it. Pass. Love it. Love it long term. Let it come back. All right, here we go. Materials names. Here's the next sequence of please don't buy names in a bear market. X. We traded this thing pretty flawlessly. We got in around 18 to 20, sold it up at the 200 month. Now you're pulling back. Now what? I get this question all. I told people beware here. I said, oh crap, you better get over to an. Now what? Well, keep in mind this. I mean, this could come all the way back down into like single integer numbers if this is a bear market. Now again, I like it long term because again, I know what. Keep in mind, I traded this during the bull market of commodities. Look at that thing, $10 up to almost 200. We're setting ourselves up for a massive base, especially if this is a bear market that goes into a bull market straightly after. Smash, let this thing come down. Now, Dan, what price? Just let it come down. Watch it every day if you have to, but watch it go. Wait for the capitulation. Well, what's capitulation? I'll say it again. VIX somewhere in the 40s to 50s minimum. COVID, it got up into 80s. 2008, I think it got up into, it felt like 100. Dude, it got something crazy. Let me look at it again, because I don't want to quote it wrong. What did the VIX? 96 in 2008. Sorry, close enough to 100. I knew it was something like I'd never seen before. I remember, because I was like, what? I was like, is the world really ending? Because the only way to get the VIX that high, the world literally felt like it was ending. All right, wait for it. Now, again, where does that take letter X? I mean, it literally could drop like 50% in a day with the VIX that high, meaning it could go from 20 down to 10, or it could go from 12 down to 6. That's why you got to wait for the capitulation, because you're going to see, again, if I'm aggressive, someone said I'm angry in the videos. No, I'm aggressively pushing and pounding the table. Like, please wait, because you are going to get, I mean, you're literally going to be like shopping. Think of it as like you're walking around the shopping mall and you're like, wow, everything is so deeply on discount, and you're flush with cash. You're 100% cash, and you're just sitting, I want a little bit of X, and I want some gold, and I want some silver, and I want some uranium, and I want this, and that's what you're waiting for. But if you can't wait for it, guess what? I mean, here we go. VALE, same thing. Everyone's like, oh, you missed the bounce. It's like, I don't care. We played this move. Now Scott got it at like 11, one of our good friends in the Discord room. We waited for the 20-day. Still pretty good. Got out, filled the gap, talked about this blue zone, went a little higher. Whatever. Oh, Dan, you sold at 20 and it went to 21.30. You idiot. Yeah, I know. And then now it came back to 14. Well, hey, Dan, it's going higher. It's back at almost 19. I don't want to buy it. Right back. That's what happens in bear markets. Now, again, it's showing good relative strength. That's why we like it long term. It's showing relative strength, right? Same thing with X. Not recently, but keep in mind, as the market was crashing in the spring, look what this was doing, right? Relative strength. All right, uranium, here we go. Same folks every day. Pump. What did I say last week? Watch out for this like sneaky looking head and shoulders pattern. People are like, what do you mean head and shoulders? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Uh-oh. Now what? Going lower. Now again, keep in mind, we can't, I don't have the trend drawn on it. You can see it on the daily. Had this like squarish, rectangular, ascending trend line. Played it. Play it? No. Now people are going to go, oh, you idiot, you missed on 20%. No, actually 30%, I think, right? Every $2. Wow. More than that. 30+%. Hey, it was a nice trade. You missed it, Dan, but look, it's coming right back. Did I really miss it? No. Mosaic and CF, again, love these names. Love these names long term. People were saying, you see what's going on? See what's going on? Look at that. Again, fertilizer names, farming. However, I will say this. I do have another trend line. Look at this on my other computer. Where is it? Anyway, it's the channel. It's the old channel high. I apologize. Hold on. Check this out, friends. Look where we're holding. Or not holding, but we're getting into. Channel should hold around here. But if the market gets wiped out, no sirree, Bob. No, sir. CF. Again, we love these names long term. They're holding up relative strength, pulling back. Just really keep it that simple, okay? I know people want to get super bullish about materials names and commodities. I'm just telling you, they're gonna get murdered. And you want them to, because again, shake out the weak hands, because then once the market maker takes advantage of all that inventory, he's going to mark it up on light volume, and you're going to see bull markets of bull markets, and you're going to be like, wow, I just waited. That's all I did. And people are like, oh, you were the smartest guy. You had diamond hands. No, you had patient hands. Maybe that's a word. Oh, let's not forget arrow, because here's another one. Really like it. Oops. Don't buy it. Now it bounced. Now everyone's like, oh, it bounced 20%. Nah, whatever. Just don't care, because I know what happens to commodity now. Now, this is another one. Copper. You're going to need copper for this electrical future. Put this one on your radar. Arrow. I like it. I like it a lot. Long term. Wait for it to pull back. Wait for the market to puke. AMD. Again, now we've actually had some shorts in some other sectors. We talked about this 106 to 110 level. Woo! Bear market still on. Again, if you are owning AMD for the long term, you need to cash out and say goodbye. Because if you're not familiar with what semiconductors do during bear markets, they go slam, slam. Now think about it. This is like foothills. This is the mega mountain. We're coming back mega. That's a mega pint of wine you have, Mr. Max. No, look at, I mean, once semiconductors trade like commodities, meaning they're all great semiconductors, they have no competitive advantage. In a bear market, then they start literally price like cutting against each other. And like who can literally produce the cheapest chips? And they're basically cutting at each other's throats. That's what happens in a semiconductor, like after it peaks. So here's your head and shoulders top. We identified it. Goodbye. Talked about this as a short because that's where I shorted first time. Honestly, I didn't even get the top. I got down here. 125, not bad. Could have got right here. Not that bad. It's a bear market, y'all. Apple. Here's another one we talked about. You got up to the 150 area. We said short it. I actually started shorting it up here because I was like, this is a bear market rally. I think it's topped because the market had topped. Now what? Back at the lows. Where's it going long term? I mean, you just have to assume. And I've said this a multitude of ways, but I'm going to repeat it. In a bear market, you look for extremes to reshort. And when the market tanks, once the VIX spikes, super spikes, which it hasn't, you got to take some profits. And then you can reload. You can take some profits and you can reload. That's how it goes. Oh, Meta, where are you now? Is anything going to save? I haven't even tried opening. Probably not. I'm going to have to redraw everything. Ah! All right, whatever. Fail. I mean, it's a bear market. This thing's going lower. I'll draw on this another time. This video is already getting long enough. Roblox. We said this in Mountain. Like I said, I think the stock gets bought out. But in a bear market, it's done. You do have support here. So again, put it on your radar. Watch the low 20s. Tesla. I am just amazed. I am absolutely amazed that people think Tesla's going higher in a bull market, in a bear market. This thing literally is the mountains of mountains stocks. It broke below the channel, broke the 20-month. We said you got to go. We actually called the top within pretty close parameters. Because why? We know channels that lead to extreme blow-offs are tops. No. Now what? It's stuck. I've said this is such an ugly chart. It's kind of like that, oh man, what's the NC State grad that is in the movies? And he's got that like meme where he's like playing poker or blackjack and he's calculating all the odds and like that's what my chart looks like. It's a mess. I can't even calculate anything on this anymore. It's just gotten so wild. What do you do with it? If you own it, you should have gotten the beep out. That's all I can really tell you. Now, if you want to argue what next, why? I mean, he literally said, let me pull this up into, I was reading, I mean, I posted this in the Discord room. What did he say? He actually like pulled a memo from their work emails. He posted, not him personally, but where is it? I apologize for the slowness because there's so much stuff going on in here. Oh, I remember this conversation. Tesla CEO says the company's had a very tough quarter, citing leaked emails. Tough quarter. You want to own that tough quarter? I hope not. All right, let's get into the bread and butter of what we're doing. Oil. Actually, no, sorry, I got a EXPI. Love the company. Here again, here's an example. Fundamentals do not trump the market. This company's doing great. You look at this high and you think this is up. No, it was at 90. 90. That's the mountain. This is now the depression. Again, I like the company long term, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going higher. UTHR. Here's another opportunity that we identified. W. Higher highs, higher lows. Boop. There you go. And then what do we say when you got up here? Take some. Please take money, we said a million times. What did we say? It's probably going to retest the 216s. There you go. 20-day. Now, again, are they a takeout target? I think so, based on the way they're acting, based on the FDA approvals they're getting. All the good things going in their favor. But guess what? It's a bear market. So it means it could chop and it could go sideways. It doesn't mean it's not going to get that stupid bull market thrust, which I like stupid bull market thrust if you are on the side of it and you're aware of it. Because again, you get prices. And that's why I always say sell the more something's up, because you don't know where the top is. Like you could see a stock like this double in a bull market going stupid. And I mean, going stupid means just excited. USO, here we go. I will be shorting every pop on this from now on for the rest of the summer. Dan, you're crazy. You're crazy, man. Well, I did short that in a bear market, and it did pretty well last time we had a bear market with oil. And the USO, keep in mind, USO is a deteriorating ETF. You must pound these ETFs. It's kind of like shorting the UVXY after the VIX spikes. You have to pound these ETFs because they're absolute pieces of crap. Oh, but Dan, it's going high. Remember, this doesn't include the aftermarket action in the oil futures. You were making a new high to make look strong. Make it look strong, man. And now what? Doji. We talked about this red flags taking out the highs and then actually had red action, meaning selling action because of the first of the month. Now, again, I'm not prognosticating that it's topped 100%. I don't know that for sure. However, you should be shorting pops. But Dan, don't do it. You're crazy, man. Oh, well, remember when I started shorting ExxonMobil on the 94 to 95 level and said, oh, all right, I'm going on vacation, whatever. Then it gave me gifts that never ended gifting. And meaning CNBC pumps a special on why ExxonMobil is the future of what? What? I remember the CNBC special about oil. And when it was dropping, and ExxonMobil literally was getting down to 30, and the oil futures were negative. They were paying people because they couldn't store it at Cushing. They literally were overflowing. They were going to probably dump it into the ocean if this was the 1800s. But they didn't. They paid people to take it. Now what on ExxonMobil? Retail's all in. I've said this a bazillion times, and people go, well, you're just crazy, man. You shouldn't be shorting this. And I'm like, look at this action. ExxonMobil has a history. Has a history up here in the 90s to 100 level. Pulling back, probably, again, now is it going to get murdered? Probably not murder, but it'll go in the 60s or 70s. I am shorted. XOP, again, people are freaking out. Trust me, I absolutely get it. I've been wrong before. I'm early. I talk about that. But this action from 26 up to 140, 150, when we started accumulating the heavy duty shorties, what? 140, 50? It got up to 170. I got it. When we talk about this area is going to be a bear to get over. Keep in mind, 20 to 140s. Are oil companies doing that great? We'll see. Now what? It broke out of the upper channel bound, typically at tops, and then what? Turned right around. Now people are going, oh, is it bullish or bearish? Don't ask me that question in the Discord room unless you're just making a joke, because this is the thing, the blowout. Now you have the professional gap down. It's done. Now, how fast does it get down to whatever lows? I don't know, folks. I don't know, but I do know one thing. The feds want to kill oil. That is the biggest thing holding up bond buying. They have to murder oil. They absolutely have to. And when I say murder oil, like the future, they can't murder oil. Demand destruction is the naturalist big thing, but also keep in mind, the production increases these times, because guess what? If you're a company that can sell oil at the future price, keep in mind, the backwardation is huge in oil. Huge. People are selling it. Again, I mean, I saw the article, Libya, 1.1 million dead barrels. Then that means freaking Qatar or Kuwait or Venezuela is like, we'll sell some, because again, these countries are so poor. When they can get oil, sell it at this high of dollar, remember, dollar denominated asset, dollar amount, they will flood the market if they can. And again, OPEC is a band of thieves. Do you trust any of them? Like, do you think they all walk in the room, shake a hand, and walk out and go, hey, do this, do that? No, they do whatever the beep they want. That's what happened in 2008. They all talked about oil, peak oil. Saudi Arabia was going dry, yada, yada, yada. Oil over, oil this, oil's going to the moon. Oil over is in like oil supply is done, can't go. Higher, 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 lower, 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 lower. You see what I'm saying, folks? Again, shorting the XOP. It is another crappy ETF. Why do you think I'm shorting it so aggressively? And then buying drip, because I know this thing can get absolutely smoked. All right, now hopefully that oil stuff makes sense. Let's get into a few names because people asked and I will give. Let's add in FANG. I am familiar with the FANGer. Look at this action. I can't remember, this thing was just IPO'd. Yeah, Bounce back. Yep. Look at this thing. Oh, no one wants oil. Now you're up from $15 to $1.60. But it's not priced in, Dan. Okay, because this is what ultimately happens in a bear market. Say they need to produce more oil to maintain what? Their margins. They borrow money. Well, in a bear market, banksters will lend them plenty of money and then short their stock as hedges. That's what they do. Because if companies go out of business, and again, you watch the HYG, you watch corporate debt, it goes to crap. And again, if they have to pay higher interest rates and then oil prices come down, it's like these companies can't go up fast enough and then they can't come down fast enough. And if you don't understand that, it's out by the room. I'll explain to you how banksters use warrants and selling stock or short stock to hedge their warrants and hedge their debt. Because again, keep in mind, if they're the first in line to get paid in a bankruptcy, what's the best way to hedge a bankruptcy and maybe getting partially paid on your debt? It's to short the stock. It's not a secret. Not yelling, just talking out loud, trying to be funny. Valero. Oh man, so many people bullish. Now again, think about stock twits. Think about Wall Street bets. Everyone's buying oil and look at the action. They all got in here. They all got in here. Now what? You break out of the channel. Boom, back to the 20-day. You see the problem here if you're trading like this? Because again, you are following the news. You're literally, the market can't steal your money, but what it does is it gives you a noose, it gives you a chair, and it shows you how to tie the noose up to the beam and how to hang yourself. It'll give you a YouTube video and you'll do it if you follow the news. CVX, we talked about this breaking out. We said this action right here was very indicative of something that wasn't right. Like, why such selling pressure on the last day of the month if the trend is going higher? Look at that. And then you made a little higher high. Boom. All right. I hope this kind of stuff helps, folks. I mean, I'm here to help. I mean, if you're generously interested in being a better trader, there's plenty of information in the channel room. Stop by, side channels. Again, I don't do personal one-on-one help and coaching, but I will give you all the materials to coach yourself. Because again, ultimately, you do not want to be dependent on me. Because you hit enter. I don't hit enter. I don't manage your money. I will never manage your money, and you don't want me to. Again, mistakes happen. We talk about that all the time. You can, be all right with making mistakes, but own them. Once you own them, you are in control. I hope people understand that. Hope this stuff helps. I apologize if the videos seem long, but there's a lot to talk about, and I repeat myself a lot of the days. Put it in the background, listen to it, or remember, everything's in order. Go to the order you want to check out. Watch the video. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.